Why do some people stay calm under pressure while everyone else falls apart? In life, power doesn't always belong to the loudest voice or the strongest force, it belongs to the calmest mind. In this video, you'll uncover the timeless wisdom of legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi and the 4 principles he used to master emotional control, not just to win duels, but to gain absolute clarity in the chaos. What worked for him on the battlefield still works today, in arguments, negotiations, or any modern conflict. Let's dive in. The most dangerous person in any confrontation isn't the loudest or the strongest, it's the calmest. Miyamoto Musashi understood this paradox and developed a systematic approach to emotional control that his opponents couldn't counter. This method helped him win 60 consecutive duels to the death. His 4-step framework for maintaining calm applies to modern conflict as well. And it begins with a principle most people never consider: emotional distance. When someone yells at you or challenges you, your body immediately floods with stress hormones. Your heart races, your muscles tense, and your thinking narrows. This is the trap most people fall into during confrontation. Musashi discovered that the key to winning wasn't superior swordsmanship, it was the ability to step outside the emotional storm. In his writings, he described watching conflict from above, like observing clouds drift by without becoming the storm itself. Think about the last time someone made you angry. In that moment, you became your anger, your words, actions, and thoughts served the emotion, not your true goals. That's exactly what Musashi's opponents did. They became their fear, pride, or rage. Emotional distance means creating space between what happens and how you respond. When someone insults you, instead of reacting instantly, you notice the feeling rising inside you. I'm feeling anger. You don't say, I am angry. That small shift makes all the difference. Musashi practiced this by exposing himself to increasingly dangerous situations while maintaining this mental clarity. In his most famous duel against Sasaki Kojiro, his opponent arrived angry and impatient. Musashi deliberately arrived late, further frustrating Kojiro. While Kojiro became his anger, Musashi remained separate from his emotions, seeing the confrontation clearly. To build this skill, start with a simple practice. When you feel a strong emotion during any conflict, even minor ones, say to yourself, I notice I'm feeling angry. This creates a small space between you and the emotion. With practice, that space grows. Modern neuroscience confirms Musashi's insight. Brain scans show that labeling emotions activates the prefrontal cortex, the rational part of the brain, while calming emotional centers. That's why therapists often teach patients to name their emotions during stress. But emotional distance alone isn't enough. Once you've created that inner space, you need to know what's coming next. This brings us to Musashi's second principle, anticipatory awareness. He called it foreknowledge, the ability to sense what's coming before it happens. In the Book of 5 Rings, he wrote about knowing his opponent's moves before they made them. This isn't mind reading, it's understanding human patterns. When people get angry, they follow predictable paths. When they feel threatened, their options narrow. Musashi studied these patterns obsessively. Think of a skilled chess player seeing 5 moves ahead, not by guessing, but by recognizing familiar patterns. Musashi applied the same thinking to human behavior. Our bodies respond very differently to sudden stress compared to anticipated stress. When a confrontation catches you off guard, your body releases a surge of stress hormones, creating that overwhelming fight or flight response. But if you expect the challenge, your brain prepares more strategically, releasing smaller doses that sharpen your focus. In his most challenging duels, Musashi would study his opponents in advance, learning their preferred techniques, temperament, and how they handled pressure. Before his duel with the aggressive Sasaki Kojiro, Musashi carved a wooden sword on the boat ride to the battle. He made it slightly longer than Kojiro's famed long sword, knowing that extra reach would give him the edge. You can develop this awareness with a simple practice. Before entering any potentially difficult conversation, ask yourself 3 questions. What is this person's likely emotional state? What do they truly want from this interaction? What are the 3 most likely ways they might respond? This trains your brain to recognize patterns. A manager who always criticizes will likely critique your new proposal too. A friend who avoids conflict will probably change the subject when you bring up something sensitive. By anticipating these reactions, you remove emotional surprise. A modern example of this principle in action: FBI hostage negotiators. In high-stakes situations, they spend significant time profiling the person they're dealing with, analyzing past behavior to predict responses. This foreknowledge helps them remain calm, choosing words and tactics that de-escalate tension rather than inflame it. Anticipatory awareness transforms confrontation from emotional chaos into a strategic interaction you can navigate skillfully. Yet even with emotional distance and anticipation, Musashi recognized a 3rd crucial element was necessary to maintain complete calm under pressure: strategic breathing. Throughout his writings, Musashi emphasized that breath control was essential for maintaining clarity during combat. He observed that when swordsmen became afraid or angry, their breathing changed, becoming shallow, rapid, and uneven. Musashi taught that mastering your breath meant mastering your mind. In his training methods, he dedicated specific exercises to breathing properly while executing sword techniques. Why? Because your breath is directly connected to your emotional state. When you're calm, you breathe slowly and deeply. When you're scared or angry, your breathing becomes fast and shallow. But this connection works both ways. By deliberately changing how you breathe, you can change how you feel. This is due to how your nervous system works. Fast, shallow breathing triggers the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response. Slow, deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. One creates panic. The other, calm. Musashi developed a specific breathing technique for use during high-pressure moments. Before critical exchanges in a duel, he would take a single, controlled breath, inhaling for 4 counts through his nose, holding briefly, then exhaling for 6 counts through his mouth. You can use this exact technique in modern life, when tension rises in a meeting, during an argument, or before delivering difficult news. Just 1 round of this 4 to 6 breath can noticeably reduce stress. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Even a single cycle creates calm. Emotional distance gives you space from your reactions. Anticipatory awareness prepares you for what's coming. Strategic breathing gives you the physiological calm to stay grounded and think clearly. The final principle ties everything together. It gives direction and meaning to your newfound calm. Musashi's 4th principle is purposeful action. In the Book of 5 Rings, Musashi stressed that having a clear purpose was more powerful than having strong emotions. While his opponents fought from anger or fear, Musashi always fought with a specific objective in mind. He emphasized that a warrior should have no intention of striking first but should remain centered on their ultimate goal. For Musashi, every movement, every decision, served a greater purpose beyond just winning the immediate exchange. Having a defined purpose completely transforms how confrontation unfolds. When someone challenges you and you react emotionally, you're playing their game by their rules. But when you stay anchored to your deeper purpose, you control the direction of the interaction. Think about arguments that spiral out of control. They often start with a specific issue but quickly devolve into personal attacks, old resentments, and emotional chaos. That's what happens when both parties lose sight of their deeper purpose and start reacting instead of responding. A powerful technique from Musashi's philosophy can prevent this. Before entering any potential confrontation, ask yourself, what outcome would truly serve my long-term goals here? Define your objective in one clear sentence. Keep it in mind throughout the interaction. When emotions rise and tension builds, silently repeat your purpose to yourself. It becomes an internal anchor, keeping you from getting swept away in the emotional current. Your words and actions will then align with your purpose, not your impulses. Purposeful action doesn't mean ignoring emotions, it means letting your emotions serve your mission, instead of letting your mission be hijacked by your emotions. This is the culmination of Musashi's system. Emotional distance creates space. Anticipatory awareness offers foresight. Strategic breathing maintains physiological calm. Purposeful action directs that calm toward meaningful results. But what makes these four principles truly powerful is that they aren't just tactics for winning arguments or fights, they point to something much deeper. They connect to a profound truth about human nature, one that most people never discover. These principles align with the Buddhist concept of non-attachment. Emotional distance is non-attachment to reactive thoughts. Anticipatory awareness is transcending the illusion of the present moment as all there is. Strategic breathing teaches the impermanence of emotional states. Purposeful action echoes the Taoist idea of wu wei, effortless action in harmony with the natural flow. This approach is especially relevant today. We live in a time of constant confrontation. Social media algorithms fuel outrage. Political systems thrive on division. Even our personal relationships suffer from rising stress and shrinking patience. The average person today faces more conflict in a single day than Musashi may have encountered in a month. And yet, while emotional control is needed more than ever, it is practiced less than ever. People react instantly to provocations, sending angry texts, posting impulsive comments, escalating minor disagreements into relationship-ending fights. In this environment, the person who remains calm doesn't just win arguments, they access a level of clarity others can't even comprehend. That clarity becomes evident when you watch someone skilled in emotional control navigate a confrontation. They seem to operate on a different level, perceiving subtleties, responding deliberately, untouched by the storm. There's also a quiet revelation hidden in emotional mastery. Many confrontations are completely unnecessary. When you stop reacting automatically, you discover that most conflicts dissolve without your participation. The truly powerful person isn't the one who wins every confrontation. It's the one who only engages in the ones that actually matter. Mastering emotional control isn't just a skill, it's a form of power that reshapes your entire life. If Musashi could use these principles to face death calmly, we can use them to navigate modern challenges with clarity and purpose. If this video gave you something valuable to think about, give it a like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more insights on ancient wisdom, emotional mastery, and the art of living with intention. Thanks for watching, and remember, the calmest one in the room always sees the clearest.